Yeah, always great to be back in the USA. Love being around our students. There's nothing more fun than a basketball game when our students are here. Unbelievable environment. They made such a huge difference in our last home game against Arizona, and Sunday will be a little bit different timing. Hadn't had Big 12 games on Sundays very often, so it'll be great to see everybody, and looking forward to the opportunity to play Oklahoma State.
So tomorrow's going to mark 100 seasons of Red Raider basketball. When you hear that, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
You know, I'm thankful because, I got a chance to play in the Coliseum, and my wife played soccer here. My grandfather played football here from 49 to 52. And so there's just a lot of awesome memories I have of just the history, and to be a part of it really is an unbelievable blessing, and what this is built into, and to think that we have the best attendance in the state of Texas in regard to basketball, and that we've played in a national championship game and won conference championships, and I just believe this team is ready to do something special with it being such a special season too, and it's really been a blessing to be a part of it, and love the opportunity to compete as Red Raiders.
Yeah. And looking at your senior class in particular, how would you say that their experience has really elevated your season so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think the ownership in college basketball is different, and it's difficult you don't have a lot of guys there at one place for 4 years, 5 years, but the buy-in, because of the way that they are so loved in this community, I think it's immediate. I mean, there's a real passion for basketball, and our seniors have embraced that, and I love the way our guys are competing and how much they appreciate being a part of it.
Coach, you're one of two undefeated teams on the road this year, and the most so far in the Big 12. We knew that coming in, that you were a road warrior in your time in the past, but what has allowed this team to be able to take that to a next level here?
Really, it starts with our defense and our camaraderie as a team. I mean, these guys are connected. They care about each other in a real way. It's not fake. They love basketball and they love to compete. But I think the true test of teams that can compete on the road are groups that stay together and find a way. And we've done it in different ways. But I think the primary part that's really improved is our ability to get stops and rebound, and that's kind of been what this group has really embraced, and so that's fun to see. It's fun to see them decide, like, we'll figure out a way, and that's been evident in the way they stick together.
And individual offensive shooting can go up and down just by the game, but is there anything you say to Darian right now? Is it a keep shooting mentality? Because right now other guys are getting the bucket.
No, I think Darian Williams knows it's about winning in the end, and that's the last person I'm concerned about in regards to offense. I mean, his feel for the game, and when he's healthy, he's remarkable. He's a monster to deal with in regards to playing. So no, he'll be fine.
How is he health-wise? I mean, back-to-back ankle issues. 100% close as you can be at this time of year?
Yeah, I mean, there's not any gaps in Big 12 play as far as the schedule is concerned this year, so this is about as good a gap as we're going to get this Tuesday to Sunday, and we needed a couple days to get ourselves in order, and Darian Williams looks great.
Coach, JT's been your leading scorer the last 2 games now. How nice is it having him fully back and fully healthy?
Yeah, no, JT's remarkable, and you can tell the difference from him playing in the home game against Iowa State and how he played on the road at Cincinnati. Just a huge difference in what a week can do for you, and it was fun to see him get his lift back, and he's gaining weight back from being sick, and it's he's got a different pop to him when he's right, and you can tell he looks right.
You got a couple guys on the bench. You've mentioned that they're both starters. I mean, they play starter minutes. What goes into setting a starting lineup? Again, I know the minutes show that they're starters, but what goes into deciding who your starting 5 is ultimately?
Well, I love our experience in the starting lineup to start. I mean, anytime you can play in this league and have that much experience playing in a game together, I think that's important. And then you can always make a change at the half if we feel like that there's something we need to do, which we did in the Iowa State game. So going into this one, the biggest thing for me, I guess we did that in the Arizona game. Sorry, not the Iowa State game. But to me, it's about consistency and making sure we're getting the right effort and the right matchups, and we wouldn't make a change unless we felt like it was absolutely necessary.
Do you feel like you guys have turned a corner defensively, especially after that UCF game?
Yeah, I think the biggest corner we've turned as a team is not letting our offense dictate how we compete defensively, and then how consistent can we be at defensive rebounding and just don't give people extra possessions. And our transition defense hadn't been great. It's the one area that we've really got to improve in, but our defense in the half court is taking a big jump. I mean, we're more connected, we're moving as the ball moves, and our physicality guarding the ball has improved.
And you got Rob Jennings coming back into town. So what were kind of the conversation you had with him? Like when he first got here, he kind of pulled back out of the portal to stick around, and then when he did decide to kind of move on from the team and do his own thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's actually a couple guys on this roster that I'm really familiar with. Abu Usman, their leading scorer, I coached and had the opportunity to coach for 3 seasons. He's awesome. And Rob Jennings is awesome. I mean, those are great guys, great teammates. And when I talked to Rob initially about being here, I think everybody has aspirations to improve your game, and Rob was talking about wanting to improve his game, and as you get to know Rob, you realize that he really wants to win too. I mean, it's not about Rob Jennings, and that's what I loved about him. I mean, he was a guy that we didn't play very much, and then we needed him to play significant minutes, and he just kept getting better, and watching him on film, he just keeps getting better. So a lot of respect for Rob and for how he's competing and how well he's improved.
And when you were kind of even going back to the offseason, when you put this team together, going for depth kind of thing, was kind of like the Cincinnati game, the vision of Deering didn't have his best game, Elijah didn't have his best game, but you got the guys coming out the bench. Deering doesn't have to be Superman every night to win on the road like that.
Yeah, I think you are exactly right. This team's depth is going to be our strength, and it's in a lot of different areas. I mean, we've got guys that can score 20 points that aren't starting in the Big 12, and when you have that kind of juice coming off the bench, then it's about how well do you share the basketball and how physical can you be defensively to keep everybody playing playing with everything they have. That's what's been awesome about this stretch, is to see that when we don't have our best days from our best players statistically, that we can still find ways to not only win but separate from teams by the way we compete and the way we share the ball. And it's awesome to see this team embrace that depth.
You mentioned a couple of guys on that Oklahoma State team. What have you seen from them, and I guess what, as a guy that was in your first year last year here, what is Coach Lutz going through as a first-year head coach in a power conference?
Now, Steve Lutz is a tremendous coach, and they've got a great staff. I mean, I'm familiar with a lot of the guys on their staff and have a ton of respect. James Miller was an assistant coach on our staff at Arkansas State, so he's somebody that I personally really love and appreciate, and they're getting better. I think when you get a season in your first year and you're trying to put a roster together so late, I mean, I can empathize with them in regards to how difficult that is, but they've done a really good job, and their team's playing really hard. I mean, you can tell he's trying to have an identity in the pace that they play, the physicality, and I think they're doing both those things. Then it's a matter of trying to get guys to settle into roles and be great at what they do, and they continue to improve. Had a great win against Colorado at home and beat Kansas State at home, and they've beaten the K-State team that we're familiar with and we played, and so we have a ton of respect for them and the way they compete, because they play really hard. And the more they turn you over and the more they get to the free throw line, the better they play. And those two areas are going to be significant going into this game.
Thanks, Brandon.
Awesome. Appreciate y'all.